Hello wonderful people, it's Genevieve and my goal here on this channel is to teach you all about illustration and design. So if you're new, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the wicked videos and so that you can join our wonderful creative community. I am beyond excited for this video, as you can probably tell because I am talking way too fast and I'm just like bouncing. But in this video, we are going to be designing and painting a new desk that is going to become the brand new background for our tutorials here on this channel. How cool is that? So honestly, let's just jump in. So I've been making videos on YouTube for almost a year now, which is absolutely crazy. And the setup that I have for filming is questionable. Don't get me wrong, I'm really grateful to even have some sort of a filming setup. But the desk is way too high and super uncomfortable, so whenever I'm filming tutorial for a long period of time, I always have a lot of pain in my shoulders and neck, and it's not good. Which is definitely not optimal considering that's what I do from the moment I wake up in the morning to the moment I go to bed. So yeah, long story short, I'm a workaholic and my desk was hurting me. So my little friend right here was being way too loud and kept trying to dig on the floor, so he's gonna do the next segment in my hands, so that he cannot just be super loud. And if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I don't really do sponsorships because, well, if there's a product that makes sense, I will do a sponsorship, but I don't want to just start throwing you a bunch of ads on this channel here. That's not what it's about. But this brand called Flexispot, they reached out to me saying, hey, we have this new desk called the EQ3 and we would like to send it to you. And my mind just went, desk. No more pain. Yes. But I don't want to just do a product review because that's not what we do here on this channel. We design the stuff. So we're gonna design and just make this desk look even better than it already does by painting on it. So let's just jump in Procreate and look at some design ideas for the desk, and then we're gonna start painting. So the first thing I did in regards to the design was creating a Procreate canvas that had the same ratio as the desktop. So you can see that it's exactly the same shape rectangle. I then went ahead and using this option here, I took a picture of the actual desktop so that I would have kind of a very similar texture in the back. And that's what you can see here. So I have my texture right there. Once I had my canvas, I just went ahead and added an iPad on the middle so I could kind of preview the design a little bit better with and without it. And I also went ahead and created kind of a rough idea of the filming area. Because when I film the tutorials, you don't see the entire desk, you just see pretty much a very small section of the middle of it. So I went ahead and created this kind of frame preview. Now, I knew I wanted a very similar aesthetic to the desk that is in the background right now, so just a white background with some greenery. And I thought it would be simple, but it was harder than I thought because my first instinct was, okay, I'm just gonna have leaves that start from the outside of the desk, kind of like this, which is nice overall, but the view that you would get in the background of tutorials is not super interesting. It's just kind of points of really big leaves. Doesn't look super good. So then I was thinking, okay, well, I could go ahead and start the leaves from behind the iPad, but in order to achieve a good result in the middle, the leaves were getting really big in the back and I didn't like the look of the desk as a whole with that design. So that was out of the window as well. And honestly, for a few days, I was quite discouraged. I didn't know what to do until I thought, you know what, I can just paint a section in the middle, which is going to be like 1/3, the middle third, and that's kind of the white that we're gonna see in the background. That way I can still get this really cool effect of wood with an insert. And that's something really trendy right now, you know, having wood with an insert right now. Usually it's like inserted in the wood, it's not painted on top, but still the same kind of vibe. And by doing that, I was able to just, I'm gonna hide this right here, I was able to just kind of play with the edge of my white section and having leaves going kind of on top and under and just kind of playing with that edge. And I thought that, you know, the desk as a whole looked really good. And the preview, well, not the preview, but the tutorial area was also real interesting. So that is the design that we're going for the desk. Now let's just see if I'm able to actually get it painted on there. So here's the desktop that we're going to paint. As you can see, I already added some masking tape to kind of show the middle section that I'm going to be covering in white, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm supposed to sand it first. It is a little bit of a strange texture. It looks great, but I'm not sure if that's just like wood, if bamboo is like wood in the sense that you're supposed to sand it. So first, I'm just going to start with doing some paint test and see if it sticks. So I'm going to be doing just one regular acrylic spot, and then on the next to it, I'm going to be doing a spot that has primer and acrylic. I'm going to let that dry for a few hours, come back and see if it is strong enough. And if it's not strong enough, then I'm going to venture in and try to see if I need to sand this thing. So wish me luck. So as you can see, both are already dried. It took like 20 minutes or so. So this is the primer, this is just the acrylic. There's no real difference, but if I go in with my nail, you can see that both kind of scratch. But I'm gonna go in with a second layer, just acrylic this time over both, and hopefully it will help. If not, we're gonna figure it out. Well guys, the second layer of paint has dried, and as you can see, strangely, the side with only acrylic seems to be holding on better than the side with both primer and acrylics, so that's interesting. But it is still not good enough for a desk on which I'm going to be, you know, working all the time. If it was for a wall or something like that, that would be more than enough. But for a desk, I want something really solid. So I have a new plan. I have some Mod Podge, which is what they say, a water-based sealer, glue, and finish that I'm going to add on both to see if it helps. And I'm also going to cave in and try to sand a little bit on this part here. So I'm going to have a third swatch here. And I'm going to start with sanding, which is 180 grit sandpaper, which honestly you can see it's barely going to sand anything. And yeah, we're going to go from there, and hopefully it's going to stick, because if it doesn't stick, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay guys, it's been a process, but I think I found a solution that is going to work. So if I zoom in, you can kind of see here through the paint, this is just one layer of acrylic. You can see this little section I sanded, and then I kind of went ahead and painted around it without sanding before. And if I drag my nail, we can see that it is only marking the part where I haven't sanded. So sanding does work. And if we go and look at the Mod Podge swatches, no marks at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this entire middle section. And then I'm going to use acrylics, probably going to do, you know, 3, 4, 5 layers just to make sure that it is fully opaque. And then I'm going to go in with my Mod Podge. Now, one really cool thing about Mod Podge as well is the one I'm using, as you can see, is ultra matte. And you can kind of see that the light hits it differently as well, which is great because since this is going to be what I'm filming on, I don't want to have any glare on the table from the lights or anything like that. So finishing with Mod Podge is going to be great. I'll see you when this middle part is all white. So it's been a few days and 6.5 layers of paint later, but the middle part of the table is all nice and white, which means it's time for the really satisfying part of taking the tape off. Hopefully it's going to be satisfying, not just a struggle, but I think it's going to be satisfying. And as you might notice, we are outside because it's the summer here. It is finally warm and the weather is nice, but I do live in the city, so if we hear cars, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, I just wanted to have a nice Saturday painting the table with you guys. So let's try and take this tape off, shall we? So as you can see, it's not as satisfying as I was hoping it would be. The tape, probably not the best quality. It is just kind of not as strong as the paint, I guess, and it is kind of gripping. So I'm gonna go get an X-Acto knife and a ruler to just really cut it straight. It should do the trick, but I'm gonna try on the other side, and maybe this time, maybe this time it is going to be the satisfying moment that I was hoping. Well, that was a bit of a disappointment, wasn't it?
I'm just gonna go get my X-Acto knife, cut it straight, and then we're gonna move on and pretend that this whole thing did not just happen, okay? Well guys, we're back inside because it is storming like crazy right now, like intense thunder and lightning. So we're gonna be safe inside just to make sure that, you know, we don't die or something. But yeah, basically I was able to remove the masking tape. It is not perfect, but since there are leaves that are gonna come over it anyway, I don't mind if the border is not super straight. So we're just gonna keep going. I have my iPad here with the sketch, as you can see. And basically all I'm gonna do now before painting, I'm just gonna roughly use pencil to sketch the general idea. I'm not someone who's super precise in the sense of like, I don't mind if everything is not exactly where it was on the sketch on the table. I just want to kind of go from basically what I have here and roughly put it on there. And the way I personally do it is kind of try and divide the sketch in multiple little areas. So with my fingers, I'm just gonna measure and say, this monstera leaf here is roughly in the top third, then this part is in the middle third, and this is in the bottom third, and kind of same for the other side. So I'm just going to kind of do this proportion game back and forth with the different elements and roughly sketch it and then move on to the paint. So I'm not even sure if you can see the sketch here. It's quite light and it's quite messy, but this is our roll. So basically what I'm going to do for the leaves is I got a base green color here, which is going to be the base color. So the monstera leaf, similar green. And then I'm going to go from there, from this green, and add more blue and more black for the kind of like palm leaves. And then adding more yellow and a little bit more white for the more like philodendron, pothos leaves here. So first I'm just going to first I'm just going to paint the monstera leaf, see how many layers I need, and then I'm going to move on to making some paint mixes and see how this goes. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to make a mess. It's all good. So similarly to digital art, I like to just start with kind of the outline, especially because my sketch is so rough. So I like to just kind of find the right lines with the paint, and then I'm gonna fill everything in, you know, with my color. And I can tell that with the with the white and the quality of this paint, it's probably gonna take, you know, 2 layers to get a nice green, maybe 3. So we'll see about that, but it's probably not gonna be 6 or 7 like it was for the white. And here, I'm gonna show you the sketch again. I'm gonna show it on the screen, it's gonna be easier. I am going to do the outline for the philodendron leaves because they are going to be paler than the monstera. And with paint, unlike digital art, it's going to be harder to paint over something that is dark with a lighter paint. So I need to make sure that I don't put too much of the dark green in the philodendron leaves. So I'm just going to draw the outline. But for the palm leaves, they're going to be darker than the monstera leaf, so I can just paint my whole monstera leaf and then go over it with the palm. Hopefully that made some sort of sense. If not, I'm sorry. I'm not really good at painting and talking at the same time. Usually, you know, when I do the tutorials, I do my voiceover after I'm filming. So I haven't developed that skill of doing 2 things at the same time just yet. Maybe one day. It's quite tricky though, I'm not gonna lie. And here, this edge needs to be clean, so I'm gonna do it later when I can really get close to it, because right now, trying to do too many things at the same time, I can't do the little detail work. So that's kind of roughly the outline of the monstera leaf. I'm just gonna fill it in. Something like that. It is patchy, but it's fine. Like I was saying, I'm gonna do a second layer, and especially in the sketch, I have one half of the leaf that is gonna be darker. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of paint mixing, even just in the monstera leaf itself. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna do the other one off camera because to do it, I have to like crouch in a weird position, and you don't wanna see that. So I'm gonna do this side off camera, and then I'm gonna reconvene with you to see what's next with the monstera leaves. So the second leaf, the first layer of paint is done, which means I'm gonna go back to painting the second one on the first leaf. And I was thinking, you know, I was telling you that I was gonna have two colors in the leaf, and since this green is darker than I thought it would be, I'm actually going to have the darkest part be this green, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of white to do the other half. So that's the plan. Let's see what happens with it. So 2 layers honestly seems to be enough. Like you can see the bottom part is dark enough, and I'm not too worried right now about the edges because I'm gonna paint with a darker color, not pure black, but just a darker green around the edges. And so I'm gonna move on and make the mix in just this little plastic soup bowl cover and paint the other half. Let's see what happens. So there we have it, and I have paint all over myself now, which is usually a good sign. I'm gonna move on to the other leaf while I still have this mix not dried up. And I'm probably actually going to keep going a little bit more. I'm probably gonna put the table on the floor, like flush on the floor, because this painting technique or position is not super comfortable, honestly, to be honest with you guys. And I wanna make sure that I take the time to really get in there and do a good job because this is going to be the filming background. So I want it to look good. So I'll make a little bit of progress and get back to you guys once we're further down the road. I don't know what that means yet, but I think the next time I show you the table, it should look pretty cool. So it's been a while. As you can see, it's dark outside now. It's almost 10, so that's why the light is not the best in here. But anyway, as you can also see, I made a lot of progress. All the base colors are laid down. All I have to do now is add the outlines. So the outlines are probably what's going to make everything start to look good because right now it looks okay, but it doesn't look great. So I'm gonna move on to doing that. My goal is to finish the outlines tonight so that I can add the first layer of Mod Podge so that it can dry overnight, and then tomorrow morning I can add the second layer of Mod Podge and then put the table all together with the legs and everything for the big reveal. So can't wait to show you. Good morning. So it is Sunday morning, and as you can see, I'm not done. So I worked until almost midnight last night and just could not finish. I just kept dragging my outlines onto the white and making a mess. So I just went to bed and called it a day. But today I really want to finish. So the plan is, again, to do the outlines on this side, because on this side they're pretty much done, and then add a little bit more highlights on both sides, because right now it just doesn't look quite as good as I want it to look. And I might add some little dots in the back like in the sketch, but we'll see. So I'm gonna work really hard, and hopefully next time we see each other, well, I mean, you're not seeing me right now, but in the next update everything should be completed. So this side, and we should be able to put the table together finally. Guys, I just finished painting the desktop. It looks really cool. I can't wait to show you, but I also just put a layer of Mod Podge over it, so right now it doesn't look like much. But while I was drawing, I was thinking we could actually unbox the rest of the desk together, because what's really cool with the EQ3 is it's an adjustable height desk, which means you can work sitting down and then you can just press on the button, then the desk is gonna get taller and you can work standing up. So that's gonna be great for filming. And yeah, the rest of the desk is in this pretty small box. I'm not gonna lie, it's 62 pounds, so it was a challenge getting that up in my apartment, but I did it. So let's open the box together, and then we're gonna try and put the desk together, which we're gonna see. I have no idea what is inside of here. We'll figure it out together. Okay, let's see. Looks like a box. Okay, I'm gonna try to not lose any pieces. That would not be good. Okay, so this is what's heavy, it's the legs, and this is where the motor, this is where the thing that makes the legs go up and down is, so that's why it's a bit heavier. We have 2, and then that's pretty much what's in the box, I think. So I'm gonna clear this up a little bit to make more space, and then we're gonna actually try to put the table together, shall we? I keep saying a table, but it's a desk. Same thing. So I have everything around me. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad. And this is not where the desk is gonna go in the end, but the real spot where it's gonna go is really not ready for it. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of construction work. So for now, I'm just gonna put the desk here so that I can show you, and maybe later, if I'm able to, well, not if, when I'm able to put it in its real spot, I'm gonna take pictures and either add them in the video or Instagram, depending on the timeline of everything. But for now, let's just put the desk together, and I don't know about you, but I kind of like a little competition. So I thought we might time it and see how long it takes. And I'm still gonna, it's Sunday here. I wanna chill a little bit. And there's a rabbit running around, so I'm not gonna rush it, but I thought it might be interesting to, see my handiness skills. Is that how you say it? Anyway, so I'm gonna start the timer, open up the instructions, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay guys, so as you can see, putting the legs and kind of the base together took 13 minutes, which is great. But I'm gonna be honest with you. The last step was to put the legs on the tabletop, which the tabletop is here. I'm excited to show it to you. But since this was a sponsored video, they did send me a different desktop than the one that goes with the EQ3 desk. Rabbit is eating the instruction. No. So we have an issue. It doesn't fit. So I'm gonna go rogue because I really want this desk to work. I mean, it's still going to go up and down, although the desktop is a bit shorter. And I'm for sure going to contact Flexispot and be like, hey, what's up with that? But since I already painted the desktop, and since it's all probably still going to work, I'm gonna put it together and show you what happens. And we'll go from there. We're learning as we go here, but this is a little bit disappointing. That being said, the quality of everything seems great. Like, this is all really solid. It is just probably a little confusion because it's a sponsored video and it's not like a proper order. It's kind of a more custom situation, but still wanted to be totally transparent with you guys. This happened, and we'll make it work. So I'm gonna play with it a little bit and get back to you once everything is together so that we can try it and so that I can do the big reveal of the design of the desktop. Okay, so long story short, I still managed to screw on the legs, but as you can see, definitely not the right one for the desktop. These are the pre-drilled holes. Definitely doesn't match. It was really hard to screw because I only had a manual screwdriver. So these are not supposed to overlap. They're supposed to be aligned so that you can put this rod kind of here. But I still kind of managed to screw everything in nonetheless. So I'm gonna connect all the cables and then see if it's solid enough. Although I don't want to say MacGyvered because I did not hack anything, but although it's not exactly what it's supposed to be like, we're gonna see if it still works, and if it doesn't, it's all good. Okay guys, it's time for the reveal. Everything is put together. It works. I'm so excited. I know right now you're just seeing my piano and kind of Dave Grohl roughly over there, but if I pan down, you're gonna see the desk. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know if I am. This is the new desk. I'm going to show you kind of how it works, the height adjustable features in a second, but we did it.
we did the design. Isn't that great?
And the really cool thing about this desk, like I was telling you, is that it is height adjustable. So we have these controls here, and we can either manually control it with the arrows, and once you have a height that you like, you can just set it by using the M button here and then just clicking on another button to program it as a set height. So I did this for the standing up, and I also did it for the sitting down. Isn't that cool? So I'm really excited to be filming on this now. It's gonna be great to have a desk that is the right height for me. And as you can see, honestly, it's really super stable. I can sit on it. I'm not super heavy, but still I can sit on it and it doesn't move at all, which is a great sign, especially considering the fact that I had two models that didn't fit together. So even though I had to kind of put the pieces all weird underneath, you can tell, by the way, like looking at it like that, but the pieces are kind of overlapping a little bit. So seeing that it's as solid as it is right now, although the pieces are not exactly where they're supposed to be, I think that's really a great sign. So I would definitely recommend this desk. Honestly, it looks great. It looks super neat. You can tell that it's durable. Like there's no cheap plastic. It's all metal. It's really heavy duty, at least for now. We're gonna see when I use it more, and I'm for sure gonna keep you posted. So as I use it, I'm gonna update the description of this video and kind of let you know what happened to it. So if you don't see anything new in the description, it's that so far so good. And I'm also going to reach out to the company tomorrow when it's not a weekend to tell them about the mix-up that happened between the models and see how they handled that. So I think that's another really great opportunity to kind of review the brand, because customer service for a brand is really important. So we're gonna have that to review as well. That way, when I do recommend the brand to you, you have a bigger picture, which I think is really important. Yeah, so if you want to check it out, I will link it in the description below, and in the comments there's a link that you can use. If you're new here on the channel, or if you've been here for a while, here's the playlist with like the best videos, the cherry on top of the sundae, the videos that you guys like the most. So check it out by clicking on the link right here, and I'll meet you there.